What's up guys, welcome back to another Trackdayr video. Today we have been blessed with another new track. We are on Glen Helen, which I'm sure wasn't too difficult for you to work out by the thumbnail. So this is, obviously it's a brand new track. We've got the main track right here in front of us as you'd normally ride. We then also have over here a supercross track, and way over, if I turn around here, way over in the mountains, way off over in the distance that way, there is a secondary nationals track as well. I'm not sure if it's like an amateur track or anything like that. I don't know the Glen Helen compound off by heart. But those two aren't rideable right now. There's invisible barriers stopping you, and I've been told that it's purely for the performance factor of it that we can't ride on them at the moment. So today I'm just bringing you the main Glen Helen track. I've downloaded a new rider skin, as you can see, and a new bike. I believe both of them were made by FabMX. I know the gear definitely was. I could be wrong on the bike, so if so, I've misspoken there, I do apologise. But I've been feeling really good on the game recently. I have played this track a little bit last night prior to recording this, and I'm on the 250 right now. I'm on the RM still. I think the 450 for me is a little bit overkill. I'm still trying to just learn the game, get a little bit better at it on the RM before I move up. But I think I don't know if I had any settings wrong or if something's just suddenly clicked for me overnight. But I went and completely remapped all of my controller binds to exactly the same settings that they was on previously. But now I just feel like I can actually get around the track a little bit, and it's so much more enjoyable than it was up till now. I'm still kind of switching between first person and third person a little bit. It's one of them where I can't quite make up my mind fully. I like this third person angle. It is, if you press number 3 on the keyboard when you're in third person, it'll switch to this one. I do quite enjoy this. And then from time to time I like my first person, but there's a lot of fluttering in first person. I'll show you quickly. Let me change my camera. See, there's a lot of like vibration going on in the sleeves and stuff, and I believe that's just like a wind effect shaking about the sleeves. And I've asked if there's any way that can be reduced or eliminated, because I think that for me is the reason that I don't play first person for long periods of time, because it does give me a little bit of a headache. But I think when you're kind of leaning back and hanging off the back of the bike, first person looks really nice. Like, it does give a good POV, it does feel quite realistic in a sense. And I know some people, like Rum for example, I know Durik as well, or they both play first person basically exclusively. So there are people that like both ways of doing it, and I know I do get a lot of comments where I play in third person a lot, people asking for more first person stuff, but I thought if I gave you a little bit of a reason as to why I don't mess around with first person too much, you would understand a little bit more. But I'm kind of loving where the game's at so far. I feel like where there's multiple new development builds every single day that I have the great pleasure of getting to test out and try, it's very hard keeping track on everything that's been changed all the time to kind of give you guys definitive stuff. I suppose the best way of explaining it is everything is being worked at here and there in little bits and being tweaked ever so slightly. The game feels really good. I will say, if I crash in first person, I love just like walking around in first person. It feels so immersive. And if I hold the triangle button on my controller, it looks at my bike, so like the whole time, so I can look over my shoulder, look up at the sky, spin around, so I always know where the bike is. I like that aspect. It's not like you're searching for your bike and you can't find it at all. Let me hop back on it, get in first gear, hit the old kickstart, off we go again. So, this track, I quite enjoy it. The only thing that I think I would like changed is, or I mean for any people that create tracks, if you want to get your hands dirty at making a track in this game, I'd like to see someone try and experiment with proper ruts, because a lot of these tracks that the game developers have been creating and releasing, there's no proper ruts that you'd expect. Either the corners are a little bit on the flat side, or maybe they have got an inside, but it's more of a bank than a rut itself. I would love to see how this game handles properly built ruts. It's got an in-game erode system, like erosion, but never to the point where it actually develops a usable trail. So I'm very interested just to see how that goes. I know that we've got Resolute Kraken, who made one of my favourite tracks of all time in any motocross game, the Krakenberg in MX Bikes. He plays this game as well, so I'm not sure if he's got something in the works. He's quite a secretive man. If he hasn't yet, I'll throw a little idea out into his head. Let's try and get some more tracks going on this game, because we're lacking at the moment. And as much amazing work as the devs are doing, nothing builds a community better than having all of that mod customization and ability to play something new or get something new all the time. I know we're in a really good spot on bikes right now, where I feel like almost every single day we're getting a new track of some sort. I mean, at the point of me recording this, we just had the new Valhalla track released by Hurren, which I absolutely adore. I had so much fun riding around that with Rum, and oh god! But I think I'm in that honeymoon period on Trackdayr right now, where I'm learning to... Oh god, I'm surprised I didn't crash there. Where I'm still learning to go fast, so I'm really enjoying just trying to get better at the game. I love the traction. Like, if I lean forwards and get on the gas in this corner, you can see I can physically get the back end to step out if I want to, which is actually, for someone like me who has a lot of muscle memory in other games, it's actually quite hard to get out of my head, because a lot of the time on bikes, for example, I shouldn't talk about bikes so much during a Trackdayr video, but I can't help but compare games to each other nowadays. There's a lot of leaning forwards done, like in the air you should always be leaning forwards coming into land. That's not the case on this game, and quite often it will actually bite me in the bum, because it's not what you're meant to be doing. So it's very difficult trying to juggle a lot of games at the same time. But I love the sense of speed that you get on this game. I don't think it's unrealistic speed by any means. I think they've done a very good job at trying to make everything as realistic as possible. I think the 450 could be a little bit over the top, but then, to be honest, the bikes only go as fast as you make them go at the end of the day. And I do like as well, with some of these super steep hills on Glen Helen, if I was to ride up the entire thing in, let's say, 5th gear on this 250, you'd get about halfway up or near to the top and you can feel the bike starting to bog underneath you and run out of steam, which I love, because I've not been to the track myself. I've watched enough AMA races on it. I know that the 250s, especially if it's like the track's running a little bit deep, you do struggle up the hills a little bit sometimes, especially on some of the older layouts where the hills were super long. One thing I've been trying to do, let me see, I'm probably going to crash right here, which I do apologise for. I'm trying to jump up and around this corner and downside it. Oh god, I'm going to crash. Oh, okay, my bike's just going to keep rolling forever now. I have a bad feeling. But I keep getting a little bit off balance, because they've added into the game now, when you crash at too much of a, or if you land at too much of a sharp angle, it will make you crash. So that might be something that needs a little bit of tweaking, because there are situations where, like on that jump that I just hit, for example, where you are going to land at an angle. So maybe some slight tweaks to be made. But let's get around this corner. Overall, I'm loving the game right now. It's so good. 100% go and pick it up if you haven't got it already. I'm not sure when the next major release build is going to be, which is why I'm very fortunate I get to play these things as and when they're being changed and updated. I think the guys are they're very happy in what they've created so far. I know that for a fact, and they always watch my videos on these as well, and they like seeing your guys' comments and input, so anything constructive would be really well received by them as well. I know that they're not the kind of people just to take constructive criticism and throw it out and think that their way of doing everything is best. Like, they do listen to everybody else, which I love to see. And there's multiple updates every single day, which is very impressive too. One thing, I think I give a lot more feedback in these videos than I do in the development testing group, which is quite a bad thing, which I do apologise for. One thing I've been thinking about, which I don't know all the ins and outs of, so I could be completely wrong in saying this, so if anybody else does know, let me know. When it comes to custom skins and stuff in this game, I don't know if it's possible to have more than one option so far. What I've been doing is, so I had a skin on this Suzuki before, this white one. I had that in my folders, and you have to name it kind of like your Steam ID and then something else. I don't know if it's possible to have more than one at a time and scroll through them in the game. I know that's all being worked on, but something that I'm super excited to come to the game, they're completely overhauling the UI. Now, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. If I am allowed, I'll quickly throw some screenshots on screen for you right now, and as they scroll through, you can see that it looks so much better than the current one that we've got. I'm super excited. I think it's just something as simple as the UI really does add to how a game looks really polished. If they haven't been able to go on screen right now, if it's kind of like on the hush-hush, I do apologise, but it gives me... Someone mentioned it looks a little bit like PUBG's overlay, and I don't mind it whatsoever. I think it looks really nice. And there was some interesting conversations to be had in the development group about how some games' UIs are very lackluster, how sometimes they don't really make much sense. One good example is on MX vs ATV Legends. When you're in the gear selection screen and you're choosing if you want to customize your jersey, your goggles, whatever, it can be quite hard, or if you don't know exactly where it is, to know how to change the colour of those objects, because all of your options are up in the top left, but where it tells you what button you need to press to change the colour of them, it's right down in the bottom right. So people taking it from the perspective, which I really like, of that button is all the way out of your field of view, it's all the way down the other end of the screen than what you're looking at. It's little things like that that if I was making my own game, I wouldn't even think of. And I think it's really, like, having all of these different people from different backgrounds, some people being on the more artsy side. Obviously you've got the modelers, you've got the track creators, and then you've got the guys doing the actual coding itself. I love seeing it all come together, and I don't know the exact number of people like in the team that's working on this. I know it's got to be, there's at least 3 people that I've seen doing stuff for the game. There could be more than that, but it's really good. I think they're doing such a good job so far, and right now I'm just really enjoying just spinning laps. I spun, I want to say, a good maybe 10 or so laps on this track last night, and you can see, like, whilst I'm talking to you here, I'm just zoning out, just plodding along, just ripping laps. And one thing that I think they've, oh god, I've pressed the oh, this is an interesting camera. There you go. I could just get my ass in your face. Oh yeah. Let me spam it a few times to get into third person. There we go. One thing that I think they're doing very well currently is the game is quite easy to pick up and play. It's then if you want to kind of master it and get that extra bit of speed, that's when it's going to get difficult. I love that there's always that fear of going too fast and crashing, because then you've got such a long time to wait before you can get back on the bike and keep going again. So I'd love to try and do something like send this single, see if I can downside the finish line table, but I've got that fear in the back of my mind of if I crash, I've kind of got to get up, get back to the bike, get going again. It's not like an instant respawn like other games. And the more that I've sat and pondered on that fact, the more I like it. It's going to add so much in terms of, I want to say, just like realism in general, especially when it comes once the multiplayer's all fully like sorted out and got lots of people online. Something actually just popped into my head as I was going up that hill. I find it a little bit too easy to ride the back wheel at the moment. You can just like lean back and accelerate, and it'll kind of keep itself at a certain height. There's never any real fear of looping the bike out or coming off the back of it. There's much more fear of going out the front. I've had that a few times, getting on the brakes a little bit too hard, coming into some of the corners over the bumps. Yeah, it's very easy to get off the back and lean, and if I lean off the back while sitting down, a lot of the time it fully eliminates the bumps, the feeling of the bumps. So maybe that's something to work on for the future. But I think track-wise and actual game physics-wise and looking at the new UI and stuff, I'm very, very happy with this so far. It's been such a nice project to be a part of. Even though I'm a very, very small cog in the grand scheme of things, it's nice being able to give some sort of feedback and genuinely be listened to. That's the most important thing, is you don't feel like it's just putting on deaf ears. Right, let me try and jump around this corner again. Oh, I've gone way too far. Way too far. Can I see if I can survive this? I just keep riding off the edge of the cliff. Land it. Oh god. Okay, I need a new shock. My shock's just exploded. But all good stuff. And there was never really any discussion, I don't think, about them releasing the track. It just kind of came out of the blue, out of nowhere, that it got released. I just came on one day, got an update. Oh, we've got Glen Helen in the game now. Very, very much looking forward once the Supercross track is rideable, because I've only played one SX track in this game so far, which was made by Distraction, and I'm interested to see how the most up-to-date physics handle it. And as you know, such a slut for Supercross. I absolutely adore Supercross in any game that I play. Doesn't matter if it's sim, bikes, hopefully Trackdayr, or even like Legends or the Monster Energy Supercross games. I love Supercross. I don't know what it is about it. I find it so satisfying trying to run clean laps on a Supercross track, much more than outdoors. And I'm hoping it goes well. My fingers are very, very much crossed. But that's going to do it for me in today's video. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you're enjoying some Trackdayr and kind of learning a new game and seeing it all develop and come to fruition. I did want to say, I see a lot of comments, people saying that, oh, the game's got like so much potential. I think we know that it's got potential at this point, and it's now starting to fully reach it, and I hope you guys all agree. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Wanted to make it, I guess. You know I live with the criticisms. People are giving opinion, they put it upon a pedestal. A pendant for your thoughts, but I never asked for change. My work ethic's ridiculous, and yours is not the same. I swear to God that I wrote it all with a pure intention. The truest testament with no excessive false aesthetics. You couldn't imagine or fathom the effort I'm exuding. My heart and soul in this shit, but yet they forced me to prove it.